Hello everyone, how are you? So many moving parts this morning. We have audio, I see. We have comments. Good morning, the gang is indeed all here. Good morning to Dick, Paul, Joy, Tracy, Colleen, and anyone else who happens to be joining us for this mindful journey through our mobility practice. I was ready to press go and then I forgot my journal. So if you don't have your journal today, we're gonna do just a brief amount of reflection at the end. Most of the reflection we'll do today will happen while moving. So the class is planned. It is planned with an expert mind, body, and spirit. So we won't be doing requests today, but remember, you can always post in the community tab if there's something specific that your body needs and that you'd like to learn about. So today our focus happens in 3 parts. The first part of our exercises are going to really circle around the elements of listening, whether that is with your ears or any other part of your body, feeling with your literal senses, and sensing. All 3 of those categories kind of fall into the same paradigm. It's essentially paying attention to what's going on in your body. So I'm gonna put my journal off to the side and we're going to begin standing in the center with our feet just about hip-width distance apart, grounding into your standing posture. Maybe it might feel a little compressed. Maybe you're really tall and full of space. Either way, let's begin with just some breathing. So unlock your knees, reach your arms all the way up to the sky, big breath in. Let it go and just let your arms release as you exhale. So this is your chance to clear the energy. Anything that isn't serving you, that's standing in your way of full awareness. Big breath in, letting it go, shaking it off. Let's go one more time, big breath in. And then just letting it go. Let's give our body a little shake. One last moment to just bring some circulation and shake off any cobwebs that happen to be hanging out, shaking out your ankles, shaking out your knees, your thighs, letting yourself sense the actual flesh on your body, which I know is not, let's shake the hips. I know it's not always like the most, enticing thing to do, but guess what, y'all? We're made up of skin and muscle and fat and tissues and blood and goo and all of the good stuff. So shake it if you got it, you know? Shake your neck around gently, of course. And then let's land. Hopefully feel a little more grounded. We're gonna begin with a standing roll down. Let's come up, take your fingertips to your shoulders. I'll turn to the side so we can be clear on this one. We're gonna begin rounding down as if you're rounding away from a wall. And if you've got a wall to stand up against nearby, it's nice to kind of feel that feedback on your back. In any case, we'll start to bring your chin into your chest. Now, as we go through this roll down, let's make it an active roll down. So you're doing a crunch a bit, feeling your ribs come closer to your hips as you use your abdominals to round your spine, to bend your spine forward. Once you can't get any more bend in the spine, you're folding in your hips. Keep those arms really close. I'm gonna rest my elbows on my thighs, and I'm just trying to get my body close to my legs here. And then we're going to start to roll up. You can soften your knees, tuck your tail, reach your tailbone to the ground, peel up through your spine if you are rolling up against a wall, pressing each part of your back nice and evenly, especially right to left, but also lower, middle, upper, or upper, middle, lower. And let's go again, rounding forward. This is your chance to just sense what it feels like to get really small with your body, to really compact, internal, to pull in on yourself kind of like an armadillo, reaching in, letting that big, strong back shell be wide and protective. And then unfurling, be like a flower or a plant, a new leaf coming to life, rooted down through your feet, energy reaching up through the rest of your body, finally letting everything unfurl into a new energy. Let's do it one more time. Going forward, rounding over. That's it. Good. Bringing it down, just getting those first little movements into our spine. Yeah, as far as you can. From here, let's release your arms and just reach to the ground. Bend your knees if you need to in order to get them there. And then we're gonna go ahead and lengthen up the backs of the legs, stretch out those hamstrings we worked on the ball yesterday, and then bend your knees down again. Let's stretch and bend a couple times, lifting your hips up nice and long, bending them down, lowering your hips towards the ground, reaching your hips to the sky, wide collarbones, bending your knees. Let's do it one more time. See what stretch wants to happen through the back line of your legs as you straighten. And then just unlock your knees, reach your tail to the ground. Keep your back wide and strong as you roll up. Good. Coming all the way up into that new standing posture, let's take just a moment to sense how this differs from how we were standing a moment ago. You might feel lighter, heavier. If you've got a device close by, try not to break your flow, but if you want to put what you're sensing in the chat, that's always really helpful. From here, we're gonna go into this little nerve flossing that we've been doing quite a bit of. So reach your arms out to the side, turn your palms down. This can be really nice for any neck tension or little cricks that happen. We're gonna bring the backs of the hands together and just let your upper back round just a little bit. So the rest of the body stays pretty stable. And then from here, pull your elbows back, open your chest, give your shoulder blades a squeeze. We're gonna feel lots of shoulder blade movement today, which hopefully will bring us into a place where we feel really good about our shoulder blades. Let's pull back, which is not always the case, especially when we're really tight. So remember, as you reach forward, it's a little rounding of the upper back, feeling your shoulder blades separate. And as you pull back, pulling all the way back. Good. I'm really happy to talk to you through these workouts. I consistently see YouTube workouts which are just kind of like show and tell. No, or show without tell, monkey see, monkey do. But there's such nuance to finding and sensing and feeling. It's nice to have this conversation with you. And if that's the way that YouTube is trending, where it's just gonna be watch me work out and try to do what I do, then I'm happier staying here. Let's make this one the last one. Dick says it feels lighter after that one. Yeah, good, excellent. All right, release, let your arms hang down by your side. So we're gonna start this first shoulder exercise. I want you to imagine you're in a substance that's like mud. All of these exercises are designed to be therapeutic, but it's not just the action of movement, it's the intention behind the movement. So we're gonna take our thumbs, we're gonna turn them inward towards your thigh, and then turn backward behind you. So you're internally rotated with your shoulders. And if you twist enough, you start to feel a bit of a tension within your arms. Now, your body is in like an easy plank, meaning we're trying to keep some tension throughout so that our body doesn't start to react when we start to move our arms. So thumbs are turned back, strong through the center. We're gonna bring the hands across towards midline as far as you can go. If it's only a little bit, that's okay. This is similar to the stretch we just did, except we're gonna take it higher. So at some point, we're gonna have to make space for our head, right? So you'll have to separate those arms. See how high you can reach while keeping your arms internally rotated. Press, and then continue to reach your thumbs down and landing in. We're gonna do 5 of these. That was 1. Engagement is in every way is so important. Yeah. So as we are listening, feeling, sensing, notice what kind of objections come up from your body. Because remember, your brain is designed to keep you safe, so it's not afraid to say, hey, what are you doing? This is different, this is different, this is different. So the awareness is being with the warnings, and then also taking a moment to determine if they're actually your warnings to have. Good, let's go one more, trying to maintain that internal rotation. Ooh, it's a sneaky body, it just wants to flip those palms out. As you go backwards, remember, we're trying to keep those arms as far back. Maybe yours go as far back as mine, maybe they don't. It's your practice. All right, relax. Take a moment, check in with those arms, your collarbones, your elbows, your shoulders. We're gonna do the opposite way by turning your palms outward, okay? So external rotation is the goal for this one. Same deal, reaching your arms forward. This one's a little harder for me. Keeping your pinkies facing back as you bring it up, keeping your fingers rotating all the way down, and good. Let's do it again. This one's hard for me. So turn out, ideally pinkies up, thumbs down as much as you can. Try to find that overhead position, strong through the center, reaching it around and back. Yes, Tracy. Yes, the brain will follow the path of least resistance. My teacher, Ron Fletcher, used to say, the body is like a recalcitrant little puppy. It will do what it wants to do to get to the treat, which sometimes is not doing the thing. Let's do 2 more of these circles. Now, if any of these exercises feel really good for you, we're doing a full sequence today, so we're not gonna do multiple sets, and you don't really need multiple sets, but if they do feel really good for you, then it's nice to remember which ones might be good to repeat later. Yes, good. All right, let's release. Shake it out, take a moment for awareness. And now we're gonna take the circle idea, but isolate it to your shoulders. So if this is really hard, it does help sometimes to hold a broomstick. For our purposes today, I'm just gonna make 2 fists and reach them out in front. We're going to punch forward to feel the shoulder blades separate. Keep your arms straight, lift your shoulders up to your ears, closing the distance between your shoulders and your ears. Pull your shoulder blades backwards, squeezing, and then keep them pulled towards each other, squeezing them downward. All right, so we press forward. We lift our blades up, sliding them along the rib cage to your shoulders. You pull backward, and then you slide downward. Good, you punch forward and lift. Yeah, Tracy, thank you. Pull them back. I feel really grateful to have this catalog. Yeah. Colleen says I'm on the verge of becoming an overnight success, so I say that because I wish more people could find it. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. Pull down, reach forward. All right, let's work the opposite of that. So we're gonna pull the blades back, lift your shoulders up, press your shoulder blades forward, pull the blades down. This is really challenging articulate work. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely building up the heat as we try to isolate some of these smaller muscle groups to really be articulate, yeah? It's like the difference between speaking broken languages and fluent. We're becoming fluent with our body's language of movement, yeah? Good. All right, last one. All the way up, reach, release, shake it out. All right, we're gonna go into a little foot stretch. I got you, girl. Come if you need to hold on to something. And our goal is to take one foot and roll onto the front of the feet. I have been on a little foot mission. It's because I'm rehabbing my own foot, so you get to do the benefit of the rehab as well. So we're gonna bend both knees, and you notice how that brings you more onto the top of your foot. So this might be enough of a stretch, and then you can just straighten and come off of the pressure, or if you wanna increase the pressure, you bend both knees, roll onto the top of the foot, and then keep the top of the foot there as you try to straighten both knees. And the stretch will go higher up your ankle, maybe into your shin, around a muscle called your tibialis anterior. That's where your shin splints come into play, etc. So roll onto the ball of the foot, press into the top of the foot, lengthen the ankle, lengthen. This is the same stretch we were doing with the ball yesterday, with just a little bit more intention. Good. Let's go two more. We're really going slow and steady today. Listen to that foot. Let it tell you exactly how far it wants to go. Sometimes you can coax it a little bit farther, but all right, let's release, shake it out, let it go, let it cramp if it needs to. Now, we're gonna just do a little gentle articulation. I wanna hold on so I don't put too much. So normally we look at this position of the foot and we think, oh, no way, no day. But we want really buttery ankles. We want resilient ankles. So all I want you to do is just roll onto the tops of your toes so you can receive a stretch on this part of your ankle. This is really good for my rebounders, those people who are taking trampoline. So just kind of roll in and out for that stretch. It should not cause pain. Nothing we do has the end result or end intention of being put into a painful situation. This is more just getting a little mobility. And if this is too much, you could always sit on a chair and just kind of move your toes with your hands, but this can sometimes help a bit. Yeah, good. We'll go one more time here. And then we're gonna do the same, but to the toe side, the big toe side. So just kind of putting a little pressure and getting a stretch on the inner ankle. This is all tempered by you. You do not need to force, or I don't want to even use any of the other words. Just explore. Yeah, these will be good ones. Foot mobility is one that's just so underrated, so I wanted to spend just a little time on our ankles today. Yeah, when your toes are moving, you are walking better. Yeah. Good. All right. Now, last one on this side. Spread your toes out, lift your heel, and then let's do some toe circles around. So as I'm circling my ankle inside, I'm putting weight into the ball of the big toe. I'm spanning across the other four, coming down and around. Or how many toes you have. Some people have 6, some people have 3. There's like a lot of different situations with feet. So you just do whatever you need to do to find some nourishing movement. Now my big toe has some arthritis, and so when I do this circle, I'm just tiptoeing up to the edge of kind of discomfort. I'm playing with discomfort, but not into pain. I'm very aware of that boundary, and I'm not going to force my body into that painful boundary because I don't want it to recoil on me. Let's reverse our circles. You can always do these again off the floor. just ankle circles or toe circles in general. It's just nice to have the floor to support you as we go through. Good. All right, let's finish the last one. And now just as a moment of awareness, notice the difference between your 2 feet. And one thing I like to think about is how far up can I feel my legs on each side. So I'm pretty aware of the foot I stood on, but it kind of, the sensation stops on my ankle, on my standing leg. On my working leg, I feel my full leg kind of awake and alive. And then also if you just try to quick balance, you'll oftentimes notice that there's a little bit more confidence maybe on the side that we just worked. That's also my injured side. It's not my injured side. I have to switch the mindset. Watch this in real time. This is my healing side. I made a big decision last week. I've got to start getting my brain on board with we're not being careful, we're healing, which involves being careful, but you know what I'm saying. All right, let's stretch the other foot. So over on the other side, we bend and stretch. We're going down. We're keeping a little bit of pressure there as we stretch. Yes, you felt the same, Dick, yeah. So this kind of connective, everything in your body is made up of webbing. It's not just the foot bone connected to the knee bone, it's actually the tissue that is really integrated. One of the things that I love is anatomy. And there's this beautiful movie called Strolling Under the Skin, where they show a microscopic view of the fascia on living tissue during surgeries and things like that. It's a very specific camera, a very specific process. But when you watch it, you're just all of a sudden aware that the whole is so much more than the sum of its parts. We're like so intricate, and one aspect does affect the other one, Last one here. So I like to think about that when we're working in our movement. Okay, so let's come forward. And I guess I did this way. So just kind of pressing, and my goal is to get my toes to bend, mostly the 4 little ones. So as I press out to the side, good. Honestly, Colleen, I'm not sure. It's a French movie. I'm certain you can download it online. I think it's really expensive, like a couple $100s for the DVD, unless it's changed. It's older. I have it. I don't think I could show it copyright-wise. But it's, I'm gonna forget, Pierre something, I forget the last name. But if you look Strolling Under the Skin and fascia, I bet you can find it someplace. I don't know if you can buy it still. I think I have the DVD. That's how old it is. Good. But it's a gorgeous, it's all set to like classical music too, which can be helpful when you're thinking about like gross things like surgery and, Good. All right, shake it out. Go to the big toe side. Just a little rolling in and out. When was the last time, without me, because I kind of ask you to do it in every class, but when was the last time you focused on your toes, right? So we're taking just about 7 minutes to focus on our toes. That's it. Good. Let's go one more. You can always do more of these as time goes by. Spread your toes out on the mat, lift up, and then take your ankle circles slowly around, just allowing yourself to get pressure into those knuckles of the feet. Going through. Wow. My clock over there is actually working. That's good. So we're here for 45 minutes today, so we've got some movement to get into. Hopefully it's gonna feel really good for us. Good, let's reverse. Thank you so much, Tracy. That's why I'm here. It motivates me too. We've got like a really cool crew coming, and I include all of the people who don't comment and who are lurking behind the scenes as part of this crew too. I see you, especially new subscribers. Thank you for being here. I hope you get what you need. And if you are a rebounding person and you're trying this class for the first time, know that everything we do here is designed to make your rebounding stronger, better, more pleasurable. It's all part of a system. There's a thought process behind each class. They do not stand alone. Let's relax. Stand on both feet. Wow. Big shift. What are we feeling, sensing? What is our body telling us? My feet are telling me, we're bigger than you think we are. I can feel more of my foot on the mat, and normally it's not that much. All right, we're gonna make our way down into kind of a seated position with on our hands. Now, I have a block here. It's actually a larger yoga block. It's like a Pilates box is what it's called, but it's made of foam and it's pretty good for our purposes. So what you can do is use your hands here. You could certainly use your hands on a chair, or you can also be on the mat, and I'll show you what that looks like. If you have two individual yoga blocks, just make sure your hands are on them in such a way that they're not going to tip over, because we're going to shift our weight. So we're going to step forward, let's say with your right leg, press up with your hands, and then we're getting a quad stretch, a front of the leg stretch on the opposite side. Yikers. I'll show you with the other leg. The lift is a little nicer on the wrists, so step forward with the left leg, press through, and quad, and even like a little calf stretch. So you aim your lower knee to the mat with an intention, I don't know if I can do this without letting go, pointing it out, with an intention of opening this hip. So make sure that your glutes are kind of actively pressing open the front of the hip, so that the knee reaching down creates this pull that goes all the way up through the center. Okay, let's go a couple times with the right foot in a row, and then we'll switch sides. Okay, so take the right foot forward, support yourself, shoulders on your back like we prepped them to be. Curl your tail under as you reach your knee down, and then just shift back, hover. You can take a rest anytime you need to. My feet are reminding me how important they are. They are so important. You know, people get around beautifully with foot injuries and things like that, but they are really, you know, they provide such insight to the mechanics of the rest of our body, you know? And sometimes it's our hips that are affecting our feet, our foot health, and sometimes it's our knees and things like that. But if you're standing, your feet are touching the ground every day, you know? And if you're seated, your feet are sensing off the ground. Good. All right, let's come on back. Shake out those wrists. I'll show you on the other side. So if you were to have your hands down, you would simply just be doing a little bit of a heightened stretch, which I think I need on this side, so I'm gonna keep my arms down for this one. Okay, here we go. Reach. Now, you know, your feet are involved in most exercises, right? So right now you're getting a little mobilization by folding in your toes, folding in the knuckles of the feet as you reach forward. This one I really appreciate because it involves movement, as opposed to kind of just standing and holding your heel at your butt, yeah? Yeah, this is hard, but you know it, you're getting it, Tracy. We've progressed in a way that hopefully gives you a little more preparation, a little more support. Last one. Good, all right. So, shake it out. Now, if you have a box, if you have a chair, you're gonna have to probably stand or kneel for this one, but we're gonna do a quick wrist stretch. So you can have 1 or 2 yoga blocks. We're gonna be like so. Take the wrist that's closest to me and rotate it in the opposite direction. Now, I have most of my weight on the hand that is fingers facing forward on this back hand. And you can make it a little bit easier for yourself by letting your fingers drop down a bit. So from here, we hinge the hips without lifting your palm off the block, and then come back. The more hand on the block, the deeper the stretch. No forcing, no pain. And it's not uncommon to get a little tingly in this one, but if it's too much, just ease out of it a little bit. We're doing about 5. The hands are the feet of the arms. I have to show you all I don't think I have the book handy. I'm going to teach you a new vocabulary word. Are you ready? It's called homunculus, motor homunculus. So if you look that up, you're going to see a cartoon figure of, usually it's a man, with really big feet, really big hands. Let's ease out of this one. A huge tongue and a big head. And the homunculus is the piece that, or is the concept that nerve endings are stronger, or neural pathways, I should say, are stronger to the parts of our body that do more intricate movement. Feet, tongue, hands, somewhat in the chest and heart, head, things like that. It's kind of interesting to think about. So let's switch sides. So your fingertips of the hand you're stretching face back to your legs, and you just reach backward and you come forward. Good. I hope we're going to get to everything I want today. It's challenging always because we are trying to integrate a process that takes time into a timed period. So we're doing well. We're going to move on to a little hip work. Good. Let's go one more. Good. Release. Shake it out. If you need a little knee pad to stay on your knee for longer, please take one. We're going to step 1 foot forward into a half kneeling position. And I'd like you to have your foot just like inchworm it out just a little bit. So we are going to do a little circling of the hips. So make sure that your feet and knee, you're not on a tightrope, you're in a wide stance this way, because we're gonna shift your hip over, we're gonna shift it forward, we're gonna shift the weight into that front leg, we're gonna shift it to the side, and we're gonna shift it to the back. Nice and slow. In the event that you need extra support, do it by your couch or your coffee table, something you can hold on to that's gonna give you the little extra support. Hand on knee is definitely helpful. So wide stance. So if your right leg is forward, shift your hips to the left, then press forward into your stretch, then press forward towards the right leg, then shift your hips to the right, feel the inner thighs, and then bring them all the way back around. And you can even reach back a little bit more as you get more comfortable. So forward, reach. You can kind of counterbalance by shifting them back and around, yeah? So find the body support, the weight shifting opposition that helps you move your hips in these ranges of motion. And it does feel quite good when you get into some of those nooks and crannies that you don't necessarily find in a straightforward stretch. Don't be afraid to go really wide with your legs. Don't be afraid to explore. Yeah. So we spent the first half of class really listening, feeling, sensing. Now we're in a space where we're starting to explore and discover and maybe even evolve. Maybe even find some new spaces, some new ways to find ourselves. All right, let's see if we can reverse the direction of our circle for a little different intention. Yeah. You'll notice that I'm not going fast. There's no, whoops, no 2-time, 3-time in this video. Faster is not better. Tracy, what do I always say? Speed kills sensation. You know, so you go fast with these things. Like, here's an example. You could do this as a beautiful warm-up, taking your time, hitting all the nooks and crannies of your hips, opening up the range, finding the support, and then you can go to Zumba and shake it like you just don't care, you know? You just have fun, right? And that's the point of some of these exercises, is that you do things that you want to do that integrate the parts that we were spending a lot of time on a little better. All right, time to get off this knee and get on. It will help us with dancing on the trampoline, especially those little hippie side to side. Speaking of which, kneel for a moment and go side to side. Just notice all that nice, juicy movement. Let's do the other side, and then we're gonna come to sit. So we're getting there. We've got good time. We've got more than 10 minutes left in my clock, so woohoo. All right, so wide stance, shift, out to the side first. It's funny when my body doesn't want to go there. And then forward, around to the side, and backward. Yeah, and I'm feeling a little kind of like stuff transition in my knee. So I'm just taking my time and working through it. It is that sense of exploring, like in those Indiana Jones movies and all of the adventure movies, there's always like a room, and at the end of the room is the thing that everybody's trying to find. And then the first people kind of run into the room, and then either spikes come out the wall or they fall through the floor, or like they get blown up or on fire. There's all these booby traps, right? So I don't want to fall into a body trap. I'm exploring. I'm getting information about the terrain of my knee so that I don't move too fast in a way that it doesn't like, but that I'm telling it, hey, we can do this actually, and we can do it without a lot of emergencies happening. Let's reverse. You understand? Those body booby traps happen when we don't have an ongoing dialogue happening with our body and our hips. Like yesterday we went to the park and it was supposed to be thawed, but instead the warmer weather and all the snow, it was just like an ice slick, but I had gone too far and we had to get back to the car. And of course, Flashlight just wants to run. He doesn't understand the concept of ice. So I just had to trust myself, and I had to put the fear to the side and be like, just sense the ground, sense the ground, sense the ground. Find your center. Roll with the ice, slide if you need to. Keep yourself connected, and it helps. But that's enough of that. That's a lot of, what's interesting is I always get these very deep heat releases when I'm in a part of my body that like maybe I've been resisting. So your next one, we're gonna have a seat. You can absolutely do it on a block, and if you have a hard time or a challenging time seated up, I would suggest you use a block. We're gonna let the knees open. You want your feet to be in alignment with your knees, so it's kind of like almost like a 90-degree angle if possible. We're gonna make long, strong arms and push the arms out into our legs. Now, sit on your sits bones. We've got a little bit of a forward hinge, so it's a flat back. Remember, our forward hinge isn't rounded. We're here, and we're gonna press the knees inward against the arms, but we're playing a bit of tug of war, kind of. So press your arms into your thighs, strengthen your arms, keep your chest wide and your shoulders grounded on your back. Press your legs into your arms. Explore the sensations that you're feeling. Maybe it's inner thigh, under your armpits, down the sides of your back, maybe a little core. We're gonna be here for a couple more moments, so try to stay with it. This is maybe the most work we're gonna do today, okay? Almost there, almost there. No, that's a great idea, Tracy. I have a walking stick. I think I'm gonna start doing that. Yes, almost there. Sweating. Everybody who tunes in at this point in time is like, what are we doing? If you missed it, we're pushing our arms into our legs and our legs into our arms, all right? That one is making me not like it, angry. Yeah, let the anger come out. You're discovering something that you don't like. Let's relax. Relax. All right, second part of this stretch. Let's just bring our hands into a little position where we're holding strong. You're going to actively press your legs down to the ground, okay? Like you're trying to open them, like your hands are pressing them, but we're using our muscles to press them open. All right, ready, set, push down. Keep active here. Push them down as much as you can. Sit tall. Yeah. Remember, you can only really charge an emotion for about 90 seconds. Anything beyond 90 seconds often falls into the category of either consistent stimulation of that emotion or rumination, thinking about that emotion. So if you can last for 90 seconds and let that anger channel its way through, chances are you can find another state of being. This is your exploration, right? I'm breathless. It's like how my heart rate feels like it's going through the roof, but that's because I'm working hard. Good, okay, relax. Take a moment. We're gonna do one more of each of those with love from me to you, okay? All right, everybody. So, open the legs, strong arms, a little hinge forward, pull your shoulder blades on your back, press into your legs, and then actively push your legs like you're gonna close your knees towards your center. Hold them strong. Try not to push a little and then ease off. You wanna stay consistent with the amount of pressure that you're giving. This is called an isometric exercise. It means there's a lot of work happening, but it doesn't look like much, yeah? Press, press, press. Good, do as much as you can. Breathe, of course. Almost there. These are little active, mobilizing snacks. And hopefully will help us all. Good, relax. Woo! Okay, one last one, clasping. Again, press your knees open, sit up tall, thinking of the outer thighs working strong. Here we go, push them down. I'm even kind of pushing into the side edge of my feet. I don't like it either. I just know it's real healthy for me. Good, good, good. Well, the good news is that when the slow music comes on, it means it's almost time to be done. Almost time, almost time. Good. 3, 2, and 1, relax. All right. So if you're happy, seated on a block, you can stay on the block. If you'd like to transition to a chair for more support, we're just gonna do a little squat and twist. So I'd like your legs wide, and I'm gonna scoot my sits bones to the front of the block and move my feet in as close as I can get it. I'm trying to mimic the position of a deep squat position. So whatever you need to do to lift the ground up to you, here's an old one. In dance, we used to bring in phone books for, sorry, I don't mean to be gender specific, but it was for the boys because they had tighter hips. So we would all, anytime we saw a phone book lying around that was unclaimed, we would just gather the phone books and bring them in. This was before yoga was popular. So we would always have like stacks of, the city phone books to bring in to give them a little elevation. So if you happen to have a phone book, nobody has a phone book anymore, right? Just block yourself up, stack them up, or get in a chair. We're gonna take a little prayer position and lean forward. So you've got a very similar situation here where I'm gonna push my left elbow into my left knee and at the same time press my left leg into my left elbow. So I'm real active over this side. And then I'm gonna twist and reach. Both sitting bones are evenly weighted. Breathing across the chest, feeling the shoulder down. Good. And then come all the way back to center. And then we're gonna switch. Press the elbow into the knee into the elbow, and reach up. And really feel like you're reaching for something. Remember, your intention here is discovery, exploration, not suffering, right? Good, come on back, other side. When we come into a place of curiosity and willingness, and also courage, those are my 3 kind of grounding values. That's when we make really amazing discoveries. Willingness to show up, curiosity to find out what's waiting for us, courage to stick with it. Good work. All right, if you have a deep squat that you can come into without doing too much, doing too much mental damage, no anger culling, go ahead and come into it. I'm gonna just pop my little guy out. And just hopefully these little hip exercises have made this a little more accessible. I am actively pressing my elbows into my knees, actively pressing my knees into my elbows, and using that kind of hold to reach up through the crown of the head, open the chest, all those good things. Yes, good. Okay, take your hands down, separate your feet, roll up through the spine, all the way to the top. Let's go back into this awareness piece of just standing. What have we discovered from the start to now about your legs? Try a couple marches. Hopefully it feels much easier, juicy, fluid. I know some mobility teachers who call it buttery. Love it. I often think of very smooth frosting or batter because I'm always hungry. So, all right, it is time to do our last exercise and then get our journals out. So why don't you bring your journal over? We're gonna do our last exercise in standing just to pull ourselves all together. I'll do this one from the side. We're in a hip width distance apart. We're gonna hinge like we often do in class. Yay! Duke says, I have hips. Lovely. Welcome to the party, hips. We've been waiting. All right, pull yourself back so your arms are in a W, and it's gonna be a big squeeze of your shoulder blades around your spine with your back nice and flat. Bend those knees and just hold the blades. Give yourself a chance to press the backs of your hands towards the ceiling. Try to feel an equal squeeze across both blades, reaching through the crown of the head. We're gonna be here for a couple more moments. Good. Elongate your neck, widen your collarbones. There we go, Jenna. Sometimes you gotta dance around the blades to try to find what you're looking for, you know? All right, let's reach through the crown of the head and stand up out of that. Last chance standing. Hopefully that pulled us back into our shoulder blades and we can feel the upper and lower body maybe having a conversation. So let's get your journal out. We're gonna work through 3 questions today to finish our class with the last few moments. In the event that you don't, and I don't have these written, I'm gonna say them. So in the event that you just came in, I encourage you to do class from the beginning at some point. Not only does it help my YouTube stats, but it also will help your process. So the first question is, what did your body tell you today? And I'm so happy if you want to chat these into the chat as well. Yeah? What did your body tell you today? That is our first question. As we listened, as we sensed, as we felt, what did the body tell us today? My body said thank you. I've been working hard lately, and that mindset shift from injured to healing is a big one to be made. And so to be able to spend some time on recalibrating some of the things we learned this week and we experienced this week was a real benefit, especially for my toes. Yes, you heard thank you as well. Fantastic. All right, the second question is, of this class, of this experience, the movement that you did today, what and or where can you infuse something you learned into your life regularly? And I think what I don't mean is like, when can you do these exercises again? But perhaps even in that last one, I felt when I remember my collarbones, I can drop my shoulders more. So that might be something. When I warm up my feet, I have better balance. When I stretch my quads, I feel less emotional. Something like that. So what did you learn today that you can incorporate into your life immediately? It's going to be a small breadcrumb, a lesson you learned. You're welcome, Tracy. Okay, and as you're finishing up that prompt, our last one today, we worked with principles today, specifically listening, feeling, sensing, and then we worked through explore, discover, and evolve, which is essentially acknowledging the change that happened from the beginning of class to now. So listening, feeling, sensing, explore, discover, evolve. Of those principles, which one applies to your life right now and why? So of the principles, listen, feel, sense, explore, discover, evolve, which one applies to your life today and why? I'm seeing actively using my feet makes me feel grounded and aware of what I am on the surface. Yes. To love myself, accept the healing, not the injury. Beautiful. I'm going to steal that one too, Tracy. Yeah, so how did those principles apply to your life today? I think for me, the listening piece was really big about my knee, so I'm going to take that piece away. Listening so I am aware of my surroundings and the importance of the moment. You are all so special, honestly. What a beautiful practice. Now, not only is this an effective way to integrate your movement practice, no matter how simple it is, but there's a boatload, in fact, of research showing that when you apply some level of meaning and purpose with your movement practice, not only are you more likely to move on purpose more often, you put it at a higher level of value in your life, so it moves up the priority ladder. Also, you're more likely to do it at effort levels that are higher and durations that are longer. So you know how you get into a workout and you just don't want to? It often has, a bit to do with motivation, but some of that motivation, some of that piece is you're not sure why you're doing it. You're doing it because your doctor said to, or your trainer, or your friends, or because wellness says you're supposed to do this many workouts, or because it's a trend, or because you're influenced from an outside source. Influence yourself from an inside source, and you will be better equipped to make the moves you need to make to support your life, not some influencer's life on Instagram, okay? Yeah, exploring and learning to take the time. Gorgeous work. So I will encourage you to keep what you wrote, maybe even make it more succinct. Throw that up on your bathroom mirror for a more regular reminder of how you benefit from moving in general. And it'll start to infuse, it really, really will. So I want to thank all of you for being here today. We're over time, but we took the extra time to journal, so we're good. Next week, we move into full 60-minute classes for the full week, and then we go back to 20 minutes. Now, just because we're going back to 20 minutes in 2 weeks doesn't mean our intensity goes down. We're actually on a forward trajectory, and those of you who are showing up regularly, it's going to, you're gonna feel the progression over a period of time. So there's a master plan here, everybody. I hope you're enjoying it. Have a wonderful weekend. Don't forget to move in ways that matter to you. And don't forget to watch an extra class over the weekend. We're so close. We're so close. All right. Big love, everybody. Thank you.